And today we get a function, and what is the way the function can be get executed, it is internal or external, and how to pass the parameter, how to access the argument along with the parameters. These are the topics will be discussed by today. Specifically, even we will concentrate even for the arguments, argument list, and how what are the different way to give a parameter and arguments in this topic by today. Okay, then get into the function. So what is the use of the function? Functions is nothing but a block of a code. Everything is a block of a code. Then why we need a function? See this example in my screen. There is some little amount of code can be repeated again and again. Sometimes some instructions are repeatedly be requesting for writing a programming. Because of the reason we need to execute the line, because that statements are very necessity to do the execution for some current process for manipulating our data. In these times, some data are repeatedly we have to give it to the programming. If it is repeatedly given to the programming, what it may done? The first problem is bulk of a code. The same code will be repeated and again in the same. The code will be lengthy. The program will be very too much lengthy. If you created a simple program, addition of two number program for a simple concept, it's a very lesser lines. We no need for any functions or that. When we are go with the real-time applications, the codes will be more concentrated to be a concepts, a logic. If it is a logic concept, there are many lines you have to given for a calculation as well as the manipulation of the data. That times, a minimum, the number of lines should be 1,000 or 2,000 lines. Even if you want to create it as an operating system, it has to take too much of 10,000 line, 20,000 line likewise. So why we want to give a same line of instruction again and again? What is the problem it will be create? Even for a bunch, line length of a code, length of a program, huge memory will be occupied. The next thing is every time you will not be repeat a same instruction in a proper syntax. Syntax problem will be rise, and we cannot find where is the error because the same number of instruction repeatedly we are giving means we cannot easily find the error while doing the execution. Then how to resolve this problem? We have decided these three codes are repeatedly given. How many times? 1, 2, 3. 3 times as we are giving. So it is just to consider it as a single programming. Some lines are repeated, some in between some other lines are there. It is a unique line maybe. Some of lines only can be repeatedly given. Same hi, hello, welcome, hi, hello, welcome. Some lines are repeatedly we are giving. In this situation, let's just go through the programming. Almost first 3 line, 4, 5, again 3 line, again one more unique line, again one more 3 lines. Almost 9 lines are repeatedly we are giving. If you are giving these repeated statement as a separate block called function, like for example call, these lines are put it together, comes under the names of function. The name of the function is call. If you give a name of the function as a call, it comes under the call function. Whenever you call the name as call, C-A-L-L, the statement which is enclosed in that function will get executed. So repeatedly, we don't want to give a same set of statements. If you go through the programming, on the left side, there are almost 9 line of instruction is there. That will be replaced into only 3 line of instruction. Of course, the 3 lines will be get included when giving a definition. This is a main advantage for the function. Some set of codes are repeatedly we want to do. Keep that repeated codes as a separate code called comes under any one of the function. Whenever we requested, just to call the function name, it automatically get executed. And next advantage is best use of it is finding error. If a single person cannot handle all the works in your home, all the works in some sports activity, if you set some different coordinators mean that people is able to handle only that individual sports. If any mistakes can happen, mean easily we can find the mistake which sports are can have a problem. A responsible person is some of single coordinator. You can ask them, you can rectify the problem. If one person is handling all the problem in the sense, it cannot easily find the error and find the mistake. It will affect one to another. But if you put as a different person as a coordinator in the sense, one person error problem, one person's sports issues will not affect to another one. That will be run properly. This is a very interesting practical example for conducting a sports activity to be a one coordinator. Under the one coordinator, we have to put the different coordinator for conducting each sports. You can easily find the error, we can rectify the error. The first advantage is lesser code. So because of lesser code, not too much occupation of memory. Memory will be free for that. And the third thing is for easily find the error and mistakes and easily you can rectify the problem. So these are the main advantages. This is the reason we go with the functions. What is a function? Functions are small block of a code. Here, we just put some instruction. What is the instruction? Another example is print hello and fun. These two statements comes under the name of hello function. This function is defined whenever the user is calling the function name, it automatically get executed based upon the input or whatever. It is depends on the parameter and argument. But right now, the name is enough. The name of the function is enough. What is enough? Execute all these statement which is enclosed under hello. And the next statement is also there, but we don't want to repeatedly join as the next statement. Here we are calling hello again. What is that? It just comes under all the print hello and fun statement together. So these are very helpful for identifying the error and minimize the problem, minimize the code. And because of that, lesser memory will be occupied for creating applications. If you did any one mistakes on any one of the line, it will be affect only that particular operation, not for all the operations. So this is correlated with the function. So exactly what is a function? Functions is nothing but some set of instructions or a block of a code. It will be get executed when it is called. When we are calling you, we are just saying hi, hello. Like that way, when you're calling, you're just related to your correlated with your work. Even you can pass with data, like your name and username and password, and these are called as the parameters and related with the return values. Even you can able to return the status. Return data is maybe like a status of a current process. Once you've done it something, the resulted data will be carried for some other process. This is what a function. Functions are some set of instructions can be get executed when it is called. In a Python, there are two types of functions are there. One is built-in function, another one is define our own function. Built-in functions, for example, raw input. Input we used on the day before, it is a built-in function. That function we used for getting input from the user. This is a default function. We call it built-in function. Integer, we converted into integer. Na? That is also called as a function. Integer, conversion function. It helps you to convert within a bracket value as into the integer or the float likewise. This is built-in function. And we always propose to for something as creating our own functions. What is our own function? Based upon the data, we have to do some calculation. We have to manipulate our data. This is called as two different types of function which is available in our Python programming. Then there are two things there. One is the argument, another one is the parameters. This is another example. I just tell you later. Once we call the function max as a built-in function. This is the example for built-in function, max function. Max function is finding a maximum number or maximum character from the given inputs. Here the given input is hello space world. Even when I gave an explanation about the comparatively A to Z, I told you that the values of binary code will be compared. A small a mean 97. Likewise, it will be compared. Here, that is the maximum from the character. H, E, L, L, O are a small letters because these numbers can have a lesser amount of binary ASCII code. W only had a higher, it is a big, greatest ASCII code, ASCII value and then ASCII code. It's just a finding what is the maximum value from the list. It can be written. It is returning. This is called return data. This is called data, passed data or argument. This is called passed data. Passed data, value, or it may be called argument. What is that value? It returning something. Which one is the highest value? This is called as return data. We are calling the function of max with the argument. It's finding a maximum value and return the data W as value. And where it could be placed, the variable of big, big. Now big can hold as a W. Okay, I'm going with the next. When we started to give any function, you should know some few words about a function. Function prototype, definition and calling. These are most important for that. What is a prototype? Declaration or function. For a Python programming, prototype is not a compulsory. But if you studied C and C++ programming, prototypes all plays a major role. You have to tell to the compiler, yes, I'm going to give this much of function name and this much of parameters going to be defined and called in a further programming. That is called the function prototype, called function declaration. Definition which contain the original task what we want to do. Function calling. The function definition, some set of instruction has given that has executed when the function it is called. These are the three terms you should know about it. Okay, how to create a function? Here, def keyword, def, def as a keyword. Next, give a function name. Here we used my function, my underscore function. The syntax is def, function name, parameters. And as usual, colon symbol. It is called indent. It helps you to represent which have a block of a code. The blocks of a code can be given with indent space. Indent space give a statement. This is a function definition. Def as a keyword, defining a function. By which function? My function. What is a statement? Print hello from a function. But only one statement has given in a block of a code. There is no condition, nothing at all. It just get entered and it's just trying to execute. When it is execute, when you called the function. How to call the function? There is some set of instruction has given here. This is called as a definition. Every time it won't be automatically executed. We have to insist them to execute. It is external function calling statement. You have to call to them to execute. If I call you, then only you can say yes. Like yes, externally you have to call the function. Then the related statements can get executed. How we are calling? The name of the function with the function bracket. If you have arguments or parameters, you have to mention in your functions. That is enough. Calling the function. Okay. Argument. So I'll just give a demo for the simple program first. Okay. The same as I'm going to be using here. We plan to create, okay, we always go with easy to understand for what is it? Addition of two numbers. Okay, I'll go with addition of two numbers. How to declare it? DEF. This is a software. It's a very simple terminal as I'm going to use it for a basic programming. Python 3.8, but latest version is 3.11. For our without module programming, you can go with 3.8 is enough. Okay, def. We create a first we just create the function def keyword add name of the function. While giving a name of the function, you should follow the identifier rule. Identifier rule is what? The name should be start with character, should not start with number or any other special character. And the name should be combination of alphanumeric data, alphabetic and numeric data. And only one special character can be supported, that is underscore. This common rule will be applicable for every identifier. This is called identifier because we are just giving a name some of set of instruction. We are only naming it. We are naming some set of instruction comes under the function called add. The name should be in a proper manner. It should be follow the identifier rule. Now we created def add. After a def add, give a function bracket. Now I'm creating default function, okay? I'm not getting into the any arguments. Def add colon, enter, tab space, print. Okay, I'll just do the addition of two programs. A equal to 10. The next statement has B equal to 20. The next statement C equal to A plus B. Even you can give input statements. And finally, I want to see a CS into the outputs. That's all the function definition. We gave one function. The name of the function is add, which includes some statement. What are they? Initializing of A, initializing of B, and calculating addition of two A and B, and printing the C. We defined the function. Automatically it won't get executed. We have to externally call the function. We have to mention the name of the function for getting executed. How? Simply give the name of the function as add function bracket. That's it. If we given that, the function definition statement will get executed. If the compiler executed by the function, what is the execution? A is assigned with 10, B is assigned with 20, C is added with A and B. Now 30 will be printed on your output screen. You can notice the 30 as the output on your screen. Whenever we request it, will be executed. It won't change a value because we constantly gave a value. If you use it as a dynamic value, that will be getting passed. Whenever executed, it will be the same. This is called as a function definition and function calling. This is what a way you have to define the function and call the function inside of a programming in a Python. Okay, just again coming back to that. Now we had a function, we have to do some calculation, whenever we requested, call the function, that's over. Next to go to that, argument. Parameters and argument. What was the parameter? When function definition, we are passing some values which is called as a parameter. When you call the function, we are passing the value for the definition of a function is called as an argument. Arguments and parameters both are give inside of a function brackets that open and close curves, left curve and right curve. The argument must be separated by comma. And the number of arguments should be matched with your parameters. See this example on my screen. There is a point. My function has been created. This function can have only one parameter. When we are given, you know what? This is a function definition, right? This is a function definition. When we are, while giving a definition of a function, if you are assigning a value or a variable, which is called as a parameter. Parameters. When we are calling a function, where we are calling the function, the three statements are functions calling. We are calling the same function as thrice with different arguments. These are called ML-TOBS. The value will be passed while calling a function. These are called as arguments. If you want to give a more than one argument within the same single function calling, use comma. So parameters, here we created one function, my function, with f name. We just read the value of f name plus reg. Just a printing message. When we calling a function as first time, ml will be passed. This ml will be the value of this variable right now. Ml will be here. The ml plus reg. First answer will be ml reg will be printed on your output screen. The next time we are calling the same function with different argument. Tobias will be passed and Tobias plus Reg will be printed. This is the second output. In a third time, we are calling the same function with different argument. Linus. The Linus will be passed as a parameter for this function definition and combined with the reg message will print it on your output screen. So now we got Linus reg. So this is what a way you can able to give a parameter and then argument on your program. So why we need a parameters when we requested when calling a function is called argument, when definition is called parameter. You should remember only this thing is enough. Separator is comma. Okay, I'll just show you one small program for the same addition of two program, how it can be works with function parameters. See this on? Yes, same addition of two numbers. I'm going to solve it in a different way. In what is the way as I'm going to solve it? First, definition, add function, the same add function, okay? With the parameters, okay? I'm going to give a comma b colon. Now, I have a and b as a parameter, so I just calculate a plus b. Yes, I want to print c. We have a function definition. Here A and B are a parameters which is passed from the argument. That value should be passed. Variable cannot be passed. Value only will be passed. I will tell you why I am telling the word of variable and value and variable is different from each other. Okay, I will just tell you. Now, definition add A comma B, we done something. Okay, we may call the function. While calling the function, we have to pass the parameter. Okay, simply I will call you. For your understanding, I'm just simply call you add a function. Without argument, it show the error. Because of the reason, the add function can have two parameter. If you didn't pass any parameter, it won't be get executed. So for that, again, I'm calling the same function with 4, 5. Here, 4 and 5 are the arguments. These arguments will be passed to the parameters of a comma b, then added, then printed. Okay, let me check. Now we may get 9 as the output. So you need to concentrate even for number of inputs and number of outputs. Okay, that is also most important than that. Okay, go ahead with the next one. The parameters are most important. A, B, you should not give a same name of here and same name of there. You can make it changes over. I told you now that it will be passed as only for a parameters. It never take it only the value. It will take only the value. It never take original variable. Like that way, I just told you that now. What it means? Okay, just to carefully watch out what I'm doing. First, I'm creating one variable. Okay, x equal to 15. X equal to 15. One variable has declared assigned with the value of 50. Okay, just note out this. I'm going to define one function. What is a function? The defined function is, okay, I just give ss. Okay, show. Show us the name of the function. I'm getting L, not X, L. I closed this. Okay, for twisting, I'm using same X. So here, I'm going to use the same X value for the calculation. Okay. For the block, mention an indentation, enter key, space. What I'm going to do right now, first I plan to print C, plan to the X value. Okay. C before, I just tell before the value of X. Okay. Next, I'm changing X equal to X plus 20. Next, yes, I will print the X now after the X value. Okay, that's it. My definition is that's it. When I'm calling a function, the function definitions are given. It won't get executed. We have to give a value for that, right? Now, I'm just going to give a calling a function show with the argument of x. Now, here we initialized x as 15. This 15 will be passed as argument for this show function. Now, 15 will be passed to this, not x, it will be passed 50. Why I'm using the word, you can easily understand after the next statement. Now, I'm giving enter. Okay, I'm going to give enter. What is the answer was coming? Before is 15, after is 35. Okay, this is what output we may get. Now, I want to print a same x now. What is the output it has to come? It has to come, check with the answer 15. That is what I'm telling. Once you called a function, the value will be passed as only the parameter. The original variable cannot be do any changes. Because we changed the value of x equal to x plus 20. Now the value of already 15, 15 plus 20, 35. X is now as 13 inside of a function. Now value only will be passed, but original x always being a 15. If you made a changes in outside of x equal to x plus 25, it will do the changes. Okay, check with that. Print x. Now it will be changed. While calling inside of a function, it's just passing a value, not a reference, original variable. It's just referring the value of a variable. 15 will be passed, so 35 is answer. And getting 15 and 35 inside of a programming of function show, but outside is as the same 15. And x plus equal to x plus 25, not in the inside of a function, outside we are giving. When we are do any changes in outside, it just affect your original variable. Now the x value is 40 only. This is called as a parameters and parameter passed by value. Okay, this is and one of the methodology to give a values. Let's concentrate about the arguments, number of arguments. I always told you. Number of arguments. The number of arguments should be matched with the number of parameters. It is compulsory. If that's what initially I told you that when I create a comma b, when I try to do without argument, it shows me the error. But sometimes we may forget now. If it is a 2, okay. If it is a 5, if it is a 100, we cannot remember all those things in our form. We cannot always pass all argument, all number of argument as an input for that. That also will be resolved. That is called arbitrary argument. I will tell you that here we passed 2 number of arguments. As it is, I shared in A comma B. That is enough, I think so. Arbitrary argument. When we need arbitrary argument in the sense, we don't have a knowledge about how many arguments we have to pass or how many argument will may passed. How many parameters is there? We don't know anything about it. In that situation, that could be overcome with the arbitrary argument. How it is asterisk symbol. Instead of or different A comma B comma C, we don't want to give all ABC, just to put asterisk A. Then how to access the all different elements together? It automatically assign the 5 inputs are gathered, 5 arguments are passed in the sense. First argument is considered as 0, next argument is considered as value of 1, 2, 3, likewise. This is arbitrary argument. I'll show you the example here. When we call the function, as a programmer or anything, does not have a knowledge about how many arguments we need to pass it. We passed everything. Sometimes we may give all those things to our friends. Nah? Even they don't know want all the things. Some things only we request of. We give keep it in my bag, yeah. Just whatever you want, just take it. Like the way we are saying like that. Nah? In some situations, we are passing on different arguments. These different arguments, how we can access it? Along with the index number. Here we use the index number. Here only one variable we used, not all the A comma B comma C. If you give A comma B comma C, of course you must give all the 3 variables, all values of the 3 parameters. Now we are assigning kids as only one variable as arbitrary argument. This argument will carry any number of inputs as passed as an argument. Now, how can access index of 2? You don't want to access all those data. Whatever the data you want, you just access only of that data from the any number of arguments, any number of parameters. Now we had MLS assigned with 0, 1, and 2. These all is passed here along with the kids. It automatically assigns kids of 0, kids of 1, kids of 2. We are just accessing only kids of 2 in the sense only learners will take it for the now current instruction. The youngest child is learners. That will be executed on your output screen. This is the best advantage for the Python programming for the arbitrary argument. This is called arbitrary argument. Any number of arguments will be passed. No need to pass only this number or that number. You cannot directly give it. If it is arbitrary argument, how we can understand this is arbitrary parameter? Asterisk symbol. Asterisk, the variable of one variable is enough. If you not mention it, it is a normal variable. You should pass only one of it. So this is called arbitrary argument. Next one is keyword as an argument. What is a keyword as an argument? Like A equal to 10, B equal to 10. Likewise, also you can able to pass it. Keyword as an argument. Values cannot directly pass. The keywords of this and that here will be passed as an argument for here. Then what it may becomes here, child 1 is ML, child 2 is Dovias, child 3 is Linus. Then what is the advantage of this keyword argument? We don't want to use a same order of argument. See this, if you have anything like a programming of addition. In the addition program we did it. Okay, I'll just show you the same addition program right now. In the screen, we did addition programming. Here we pass 4, 5. If you call this 4, 5 here, A always assigned with 4, B is always assigned with 5. The first will be go to first, the next data will be assigned for the next. But if it is an arbitrary argument, what it may be able to do in the sense, I'll just tell you that, you can change the order. What is the order? Let me consider def of add, we gave A comma B, okay? A comma B. Same thing for addition of two numbers, and we plan to print a C. Okay, that's it. But when we are calling a function, add of a function, first I'm giving a value of B is 5, comma A is 20. By changing the order of argument, not necessarily given a same argument and same number of argument, same order of argument also. You can give like that. If it's given like that, what is happening? The A as passed as A, B will be passed as for B. Not in the same order of 5 and 2 will be there. In the previous example, whenever you call, the first value will be A, the next value will be B because of A comma B we given. Here we passed as a value directly. But here we pass it as a keyword. These are called keywords, BA. When you call this, you can check with the values. 25. Okay, I'll just print B. For your understanding, I'll just print B. Okay, because it's an inside, right? Okay, I'll just give inside. First, I want to print A. Print B. Okay, that is enough, I think so. Print A and print B we are printing. When I'm calling the function, I'm giving 4, 5. Okay, let me check what it has to come. A is 4, B is 5. When I'm using keyword, you can check with that what it may differ from the previous one. A, okay, I'll just give B equal to 20, comma A equal to 55. Check with now. Now A value is 55 only, not a 20. B value is 20. What we assigned as a B as a keyword that will be passed. Here we called parameter and argument as a keyword. Okay, this is another techniques to given a functions. And the next one, default parameters. Default parameters are very, very cute knowledge about to do the parameters programming. Why we requested in the sense, sometimes if you're being a silent in your class, the class teacher will know that okay, they are said yes, they are said no. If in a neutral, they are just suggested by their own knowledge. If our parameters are something like that, if you gave a value, that value will be taken. If you forgot to give a value, no problem. The default value will be taken as an input. So default parameters are nothing but it is assigned with some basic value, some default value. If you gave a value, that current value will be taken for the part of execution. If you forget, the default value will be taken to the part. So don't problem about how many number of arguments, how many inputs were given. So this is called as a default. This property even it help you for your Gmail login. Once you logged in with any device, the Gmail account, your Google will carry your password. Na? By default, the password will be set with that Google default password. If you gave a password, that will be work. It just to suggest you, shall I take a default password for the login? This is called default parameter. Just to show you here, we created as a one more function. The function is assigned with a country as a parameter with the value of Norway. We are just printing I am from Norway like that. Okay. When we are calling a function of Sweden, Sweden will be a country now. Output will be I am from Sweden. If you gave us India, India will come. If you didn't give in a third statement, we forgot to give an argument. This time what it may done, it may be connected with the default value. That time the Norway will take into part, not every time. The Norway will get executed. So next thing is a Brazil. The Brazil is also same thing. When we call the Brazil will be get executed. If you're not yet given any deep value, that time only the Norway will take into the part. Then what is the advantage of this? If you forgot to give an argument, don't worry. No worry about the execute a function. In this situation, we go with the default. Okay, I'll just show you the example. What is it? The same program. Okay, I'll just go with the same program. Defining add program a comma b equal to assigned with 20. Okay, initially it was assigned with 20. Now I'm just adding c equal to a plus b. Okay, print c. Okay, we call the function. So as per our subconscious, we may give it function definitions. A add of 4 comma 5. Let me check. 9 will come. You can check with that. This 9 will be come. When we forgot to give any one argument, okay, let me go with add of 5. I forgot to give a b. By that time, 20 will take into part. 20 plus 5, 25 will be as an output on your screen. Next, B only default argument. A is not a default argument. Why we call the default argument? It is assigned with 20 equal to 20, but A don't have an assignment. Okay, let me check without forgetting of A value. It will show error. See this? Error will come. Error will come because of B only default argument. We didn't mention by default value for A. It will show the error. Okay, let me check. Add of comma. Simply giving a space. Okay, simply giving a space of 2. Now check it, sir. It won't work. Surely it won't work. It always requesting default value. If you are assigned, don't bother about that. If you done do anything, it must give a number of inputs, number of arguments for each parameters. There is 2, there is you must do. For this program, in my sample program, I have given only one argument. That is already default. When we pass to calling, it is working. If I am not calling, that is not a problem. But when I'm giving a demo for the programming, I have 2 arguments of a comma b. B only assigned as default. A is a normal variable. If it is a normal variable, that must be passed, or else it won't work. Error. This is a function default value. Then why we need a default value? That's what I told you. In a real time, it was keeping your password as a default password in your Google account. Whenever you're trying to give, even whenever you're trying to register any other sites, it suggests you, shall I use your Google password? Shall I use your Google already used Gmail password? Something like that. It is a default. This is a current example for using a default values. It is also one of the advantage. We don't think about disadvantage. Also an advantage. If you're not answering any one thing, by default it will take like true or false, something. This is called as default argument. Next, to go for a return values. What was the return values? You've done something about a calculation or manipulations. Based upon that, it could be written some values. Based upon the return value, we may able to do some another calculation. Like for example, we are waiting for your response as yes or no. If you said yes, we will continue. If you said no, we'll stop at that point. It's depending on your process. How will you say yes or no? You maybe think about it, is it understand, is it understood or not? Based upon your perspective. This is called as a return statement. How we can access a return statement? In a variable or maybe as a printing statement. Definition of my function. It has done some calculations here. The calculation is just multiplied with 5. That multiplied value will be returned. Where it can be replaced, this function calling is replaced with the returned value of function calling. My function is 3. 3 will be comes here. 3. 5 3s are 15. 15 will be written. And finally, these statements has changed into print of 5. Sorry, 15. So print of 15 means nothing. 15 will be printed on your output screen. This is very simple concept. Because of this concept, we don't need any return statement. We need a return statement in real time based upon one replication, one process completion. That input or maybe consider as that output may be considered as an input for another one. If you done the transaction, it is okay with another transaction. Like that way. It is depending on one output, one function definition has done executed. That output is taken as an input for another function. If you said yes or no, I'm waiting for your yes or no. It is a definition of return. Return statements also most important than that, because then only we can able to find a status, we can able to use that output for some other progress. This is return statement. Even I can show you the recursion statements. What is a recursion? The function may be called by itself again and again by their own till some amount of time or still some condition should be satisfied. This is called recursion, recursive. The set of instruction has given into the function, it will be executed like while loop. Set of instruction till the condition false, it was getting. It was called itself. We are just revising our all topic what we done it in the before the examination. We are revising all this. This is called recursion process. How we can simply give it? This is a function of try recursion. Inside of this function, we are calling the same function. This also that same. We are calling ourselves, we are talking to ourselves like that way. This is called recursion function. Pass statement. That day was also told you that pass statements are instructed you to without any error. We are just telling to the compiler just stop execution, just pass execution. This is a statement we used for a pass. For while using a pass statement in a function, in the sense it won't be show any error, just to hold on the function. Otherwise, it will show the error. Okay, I'll just show you the demo. If you're simply giving a function without pass and with pass, what it may be done. Okay, just give a definition. I'll give in a show function. Okay, quotes is there. So whenever I'm making, it was show error, right? It was showing error if I'm not giving any definition for the function. But you can notice one thing, if show function is there, with only one statement of pass. Check this. No error right now. Nothing error. The same statement. Here also I'm giving show. Here also I'm giving show. If I'm giving pass mean, yes, I will do some definition in later. Right now, we don't want to do anything related to show. Just pass. Just pass execution of that current function. This is a main use for the pass statements in a function statement. The next, almost I covered all those things from the Python functions concept. Functions are specifically used to keep some set of instruction as a separate block. Whenever we need it, we can use name of the function for execution. It helps you to reduce the code, reduce the memory, reduce the error, finding error and rectify the error very easily. These are the main advantages with using a function. What are the concepts as I have discussed today? Function definition. For the what is a keyword will be used, the function keyword, you have to use the keyword for def. Def keyword will be used, name of the function, bracket, colon, definition with the indent space. That's it. How to call the function? This name of the function like add off. Parameter or argument. If you are giving here, it is called parameter. If you are passing argument, when we are calling a function is called argument. Number of argument. By default, number of arguments, number of parameters and number of arguments should be same numbers. That should be matched with each other. Or else it will show error. That should be overcome with the arbitrary argument. This is also called arbitrary argument. This argument will have only value. This double asterisk represent data type and value will be a same. If it is 15 mean, that is considered as only on integer data. But here it won't be considered, it is a data, not integer, not at all any character. That specific data type will be considered. What is the keyword? I told you that if you are giving 4, 5 in this sense, that should be passed A and B parallelly. But we can change the order of argument with help of the keywords. B equal to 20, A equal to 15, A will be passed to parameter of A, B will be passed to parameter of B. Default parameter. What was the default parameter? If you just assign some values at the time of parameter, here we are assigning a values of a parameter. If you do assign the value, if suppose the value of argument cannot be passed for that particular parameter, mean by that time the default will take it for the execution. Or else we don't want to. It's by the same number which we passed. Return statement. Return statements are nothing but for returning something based upon the execution. After some set of instruction execution, it will return some value. This value may be helpful for another execution. Recursion. That function can call itself again. It won't call one function to another function. It is a normal function calling. That is also possible. Instead of one function is there. We can able to call function 2 inside. Inside function 2, you can call function 3. That is not a problem. It is a normal function. If you are calling function 1 inside of same function 1, it's called as a recursion. Pass statement. Pass statement is simply telling you that this time we don't want to execute that function definition. It may be in the future we may be used to execute some set of instructions. This time only I don't want to execute. Next time it may be based upon the requirement, based upon the processing of a programming, we requested to do that. This is called as a function. These are the topics as I discussed today. Do you have any doubt as I'm finishing? Do you have any doubt? You can put it in the chat box. I will answer your questions. Yes, it comes under a pure function. Indentation. Indentation is nothing but a colon symbol. That's it. Indentation is one tab space is called as a indentation. While writing a code, I'll just show you on the screen. Okay, I'm just writing a code over here. Def function name colon. This is called indentation. If you give an indent, it says like some block of a code in a further we are going to begin. After this colon, some instruction related only on this block, related only on this function. Then how to give an indent? Indent space, one tab space. After a tab space, give a definition. Statements. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. If you are giving indent space, it is considered all these three statements comes under the block of definition of that function. If you gave a next statement here, mean that is another statement, default statement. It is not depending on that function definition. This is called indentation. Are you clear? Do you have any other doubt, guys? If do you have any doubt, you can ask. What is it? Arbitrary function. What is the main purpose? Arbitrary functions. Every times we don't know what is the number of argument we should pass. That's what I told you. Your friend is asking something, something like a pen or pencil or max books or whatever it is. At the time, you didn't hear them, you forgot them. Then what is it? You ask something that day, I forgot. Yeah, what do you want to? Sometimes you may ask like that. Sometimes what is that? Just to keep my bag. Whatever you want, you can take it with yourself. He won't take. If you won't took all those things from your bag. Something they requested. What he requested, he took only that things. But we don't have a conscious what we have to give it. So in that time, what we gave all those things. What are the necessary parameters that automatically will be taken by the function? Then how that is called arbitrary function. It's related to number of arguments, and number of parameters. Clear? For your clarification, I'll just show you the see this. Many number of arguments has passed. ML with 3 arguments were passed. But all the 3 arguments is not necessary, not used in the function definition. There are only the second last one will be used. Linus only used. But we passed all those things within a single variable. That is the main advantage of function. If there is no index number, okay, let me check. Okay, if there is no index number, it will be a collection of all the data. Okay, I will show you the example. It will keep all the data. Okay, definition show of asterisk A. Okay, print A. Okay, we are just printing A. Okay, and I'm calling a show function 205. What it has to done? All this, all the data. If you don't index, all it will be accessed. If you mention as index, only the particular data will be accessed. Clear? Yes, of course, multiple values. Even if you have a knowledge about the programming of, say, you may call the pointer variable, array variable, like that way. But that is a little bit advantage about this programming. We don't want to give only the 2, 4, 5, only the integer collection. Different data types together, it will be supported. No issues with that. You can give multiple values accessed along with a single variable. Even, okay, let me check. If you are giving more than value mean, that is okay. If you have a lesser value, No values are given. Check with that. No error. If you gave multiple values, that will be read all together. If you did not give any values for while calling a function, that time also it will be no problem. It is just don't mind about the number of argument. That is exactly the meaning. Clear? Yes, of course it says empty. Empty set. Parenthesis is nothing but says like empty set. Yes, of course. Of course, go ahead with the operations. What kind of operation? Addition, subtraction, anything as you want to do. Okay, I'll just go to do this. Okay, I'm just printing A only. I'm giving another definition for that. Okay, definition of show. What I'm going to give some calculations. Okay, we will add 0 and 1 to argumented data plus A of 1. Same like addition of numbers. Okay, show function which may call 4, 5, 5, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there are 5 arguments passed. Yes, if you are 5 arguments are passed, but even parameter also access to all those 5. But inside of a programming, we used only 0 and 1, only first 2 data, which is 4 and 5. So that will be added, that will be printed on your output. You can do anything, that's not a problem. This is a way for reading arguments, that's it. As usual, you can do any calculations. Condition checking, anything you can do that. Yes, of course. Along with the index number only, you can do the calculations. Number of arguments will be passed from along with the index number only, you can. Yes, okay. Any other doubts? I hope you were clear about the functions concept in Python. Yes, okay. Okay, you children, we will meet you on tomorrow. Tomorrow the session, hands-on session is there. Better keep your laptop or desktop to be ready. You're going to be share your screen. You're going to do the hands-on session. You're going to do the programming what we are given as a concept. Every one of you going to do it. If you don't have a system, if you don't have anything, PC or a laptop, no problem at all. Use your mobile. No problem for that. You can use your online compiler. That's enough to work. Okay. And tomorrow also the topic which is missed on yesterday, that will be continue, and hands-on session is there. Hands-on session. You're going to do this. Every day we are doing the programming, but you are not doing any programs. Tomorrow you are going to do the programming. You are going to share your screen. Individually, we are just want to know what is the status or what the status of your learning. Okay, that is what tomorrow. Be ready with that. See you on tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you, Sindhu ma'am.